How can you get a clear understanding on what is going on in the word if you don't read nothing but a verse a day? That's okay for baby Christians. You know what I'm saying? People who are just getting into the word. But if you got preacher, teacher, evangelist, prophet, all of them next to your name, is no way you should, or not even that. If you have been a saint for more than a year, you should be reading more than 6 months. You should be reading more than a scripture. Baby, you should be breaking down books. Especially if you got teacher, preacher, evangelist, prophet, them names behind or before your name, you need to be reading the whole scroll. You need to be eating the whole scroll. When Ezekiel tells you to eat the whole scroll, what you think he mean? You think he talking about food, or do you think he's talking about real manna from heaven? You need to be every single day, every morning, getting up, reading your word, getting a whole scroll. Baby, let me tell you something. So I'm in First Corinthians. Is it first? Yeah, First Corinthians 2, right? And I read just this first part, it's 7, right? 2 and 7, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it until I got down here to 12. So, baby, sometimes you got to continue to read. You can't just go off one scripture. You cannot just go off one scripture because you're not going to be able to understand it. That's why they say precept upon precept, or line upon line, precept upon precept. Baby, you got to eat the whole scroll. You got to keep on reading. You can't just go and read half of it and then think you have gotten something and then begin to tell somebody something about something. You can't do that. It's not going to make any sense. Especially because have you ever wondered why some Bibles have the little things at the end of the scripture that might have Mark 6, Mark 2, and James 3, and then it'll have the scripture behind it right after you read a scripture? That's because them lines go with them lines. So we can't just read the first part of the book and leave out I'm sorry, y'all. Let me say it the way how I'm supposed to say it. You can't just read one book and not the other books. We have to read the whole thing. You can't just read the New Testament and leave out the Old Testament. You can't just leave out the Old Testament and read the New Testament. We got to read the whole thing, is all I'm saying. I could have just said that, but you know how I do. I gotta go round and round in a circle. You gonna get it though. Because baby, I might not be right on everything, baby, but I'm right about this. Eat the whole scroll. Okay.